A very good evening, our dear listener. Welcome back to Explorer Online Radio, the home of reliable and authentic news. This is Malaika Kayesu, and I'll be bringing you the top highlights of this past week. These include Jacob Kiplimo wins gold in the United Airlines Half Marathon. Uganda signs 7 investment deals with Algeria. NUP MP Kabuye declares support for homosexuality. Speaker Mong returns 500 handsheets made for Karamoja sub-region. President Museveni meets a delegation of German investors to discuss business opportunities for investment in Uganda. And UPDF kills ADF rebels in an ambush and recovers 5 SMGs in Eastern DRC. Here is the highlights in details. Uganda's flag has been raised once again as Jacob Kiplimo wins gold in the United Airlines Half Marathon and Joshua Cheptegei finishing second, winning silver. Uganda's Jacob Kiplimo is said to have bagged $20,000 while Joshua Cheptegei scooped $10,000. This took place today at the 16th United Airlines New York City Half Marathon. In our second highlight, Uganda signed 7 deals with Algeria on upstream investment and enhancing exports, including Ugandan powdered milk. One of the memorandums of understanding signed is with Sonatrach, which covers oil and gas cooperation upstream, midstream, which involves refining and petrochemicals, downstream capacity building, and oil and gas services. Building and funding a refinery as Uganda gears for its first oil in 2025 was among the top issues discussed. The two heads of state also attended the first ever business forum between Algeria and Uganda. President Museveni said, "We discussed issues on growing the prosperity of Africa, agreed to work together in the areas of trade, energy, education, agriculture, and counterterrorism, where they have experience in this just like us." On the other hand, MP Kabuye, also the Shadow Minister for Youth and Children's Affairs, tweeted confirming his respect for the rights of homosexuals and said, "Homosexuality is not a crime. Homosexuals are human beings like us, and I believe their rights also matter. So let us learn to accommodate them in our societies and treat them with respect." He added, "If we continue with this misinformation about homosexuality, I believe Uganda will lose out on a lot of foreign aid because of violating gay rights. The LGBTQ people are humans like us, and they deserve to be treated with respect. Otherwise, we are abusing their rights." However, this did not sit well with many Ugandans. The Deputy Director General of the Internal Security Organization, Lieutenant Colonel Emmanuel Katabazi, pledged security commitment in the continuous fight against digital fraudsters. Lieutenant Colonel Katabazi pledged the commitment during the official launch of the Bera Stede Be Better campaign, and a financial literacy campaign aimed at changing people's behavior and attitudes towards digital currency safety. The event took place at the Next Media Park on Tuesday, 14th March 2023. The Speaker of Parliament, Right Honourable Anita Mong, bought 500 iron sheets to replace the batch she received from the Prime Minister's office. She said she did not want to be accused of grabbing relief items meant for the vulnerable people in Karamoja. In a statement during the Parliament plenary session on Wednesday, the Speaker told MPs she returned the 500 iron sheets, which were wrongfully allocated to her constituency in Bukedya by the OPM. The Speaker explained that she was not aware that the sheets belonged to Karamoja people, and that when she received hers, she sent them to be distributed to schools in her district. The Center of Constitutional Governance, a non-government organization owned by Sarah Birete, a lawyer and a human rights activist in Ntinda, Uganda, is alleged to be a recruitment center for the LGBTQ community, disguised as a skilling center for youth and a human rights organization. Whistleblower Lois Akello, a former employee who worked in administration in 2021 at the center, says that between 1st June 2020 to 31st May 2021, her boss Birete received over 420 million Uganda shillings to expand on the LGBTQ recruitment process. The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Right Honourable Thomas Tayebwa, called for the removal of all non-tariff barriers that hinder the entrance of goods from developing countries into the developed Western world, which he said are keeping many countries in poverty. Tayebwa was addressing the 146th Inter-Parliamentary Union Assembly in Manama, Bahrain, where he listed bottlenecks that are hampering the growth of some Inter-Parliamentary Union Assembly members. President Museveni also met a delegation of German investors to discuss business opportunities for investment in Uganda at the African Nuclear Conference in Munyonyo. The delegation discussed the possible collaboration between UPDF and German forces, where the two will exchange medical personnel. The delegation was led by Professor Wolfgang Dietrich, who is the Honorary Consul of Uganda to Germany based in Hamburg. UPDF killed 5 ADF rebels in an ambush and recovered 4 SMGs in eastern DRC in the areas of Katanga in Ituri province. Among other recovered items include several rounds of ammunition, improvised explosive devices, and communication equipment. This was under the lead of Major General Dick Olum, the overall commander of Operation Shuja. Over the week, government pledged to continue supporting universal education by ensuring each sub-county and parish has a secondary school and a primary school, as some still lack schools. State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo, said that early childhood education, that is to say nursery school, is the next focus away from UPE and USE. Dr. Muyingo was speaking at Kololo Independence Grounds during a function to celebrate 25 years of universal education that started in 1997. And finally, the International Criminal Court on Friday announced that it had issued an arrest warrant for the Russian President Vladimir Putin for the unlawful deportation of Ukraine children. The Hague-based ICC said it had also issued a warrant against Maria Belova, Russia's presidential commissioner for children's rights, on similar charges. Thank you for listening to us here on Explorer Online Radio. Do not forget to tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. for the Luganda news and at 9 p.m. for the English news. Have a blessed week.